There are 20 different stitches and one buttonhole on this machine, but I want to show you how you get to each of these stitches. On the top row, you're going to notice standard stitches plus some decorative stitches, and then row 2 starts with a little S for stretch stitches. Now, when your machine is set up for the top row, you're going to notice your stitches are labeled with a red light behind them. You can kind of see that red light. I'll need to kind of hide that a little bit so you can see. I've got lights showing on this screen. It makes it a little hard to see. But this knob over here is what you're going to turn to get, for example, stitch 2. Stitch 3 is our zigzag for different widths. 3, 4, 5, all the way through. Now to get to this next row, we're going to go ahead and turn our stitch length dial. That's the one right up here. About 2.5 is normal, but you'll notice there's a little picture for long, shorter stitches, and then there's an S. S means that when you turn this dial to the shorter stitches, past 0, all the way, keep going, you get to the stretch stitches, row 2. And your light here, you notice the green stitches are shown. So then it'll show stitches 11 through 20 as you turn the dial through all the different settings. So depending on which color you're on will determine which stitch you actually get. So and then 4, go ahead, we'll just turn back to a straight stitch. When you stitch, you want to use a stitch length between 2, 2.5 for medium weights and lighter weight fabrics here. Stitch 1 is going to be with the needle position in the center, and stitch 2 is actually with it over on the side. Now I just did something I would have told you don't do. Make sure your needle is in the up position when you turn the dial, unless you're actually in sewing. Like if I was going and sewing, I can turn to the next stitch and it doesn't really matter. But if I'm stopped and my needle is in the fabric, that needle's going to want to move as it jumps to the next stitch. So just give it a little turn. You don't have to be up at the top, but just the needle up out of the fabric. So if you want to zigzag, you're going to notice you're going to be kind of in that zigzag range. You notice it has different widths. So if you want the widest width, set it for the widest set of zigzag. And then you can alter the length of that. So if you want a satin stitch, you can bring that wide, super wide zigzag all the way down between 0 and 1, and you can get a nice pretty stitch that is turned into a satin stitch. I'm going to just go a little closer to 0 while I'm sewing. Oh, how pretty can that be? This can be used for applique. Now when you stop, bring your needle all the way up and bring the take-up lever. You can see him right here to the highest position. He should be level with the top of your machine. And then when you lift that up and cut your thread on the side, you don't have any trouble when you start sewing again. See what I was able to do? I made my stitches first with the needle position to the right and zigzags of different widths, and then lengths. We can change the length so we get a real perfect satin stitch as we go. So you can just change your stitch, get to all the different ones where we'll walk you through the different settings and what each of these stitches do as we go on with these particular videos, including what do you use the stretch stitches for.